to worry that you might be a bot just because you're always here on time. Good morning. I'm teasing you, by the way. We appreciate your patronage, your viewership. Absolutely. So
yeah, I promise if we didn't make
from 22 minutes ago, so she might not even be watching anymore. But
yeah, look, I was just gonna say, like, if we don't make fun of you, we don't like you. You should see the things we routinely say to each other that I won't even repeat. I wouldn't even repeat if this was a Rumble Premium exclusive, some of the things we say to each other. But needless to say, Mario has character flaws. I am the king of shit takes. Yeah, I am the king of shit takes and saying stupid things. And Chris is an arrogant fat boy. Like, just trust me. These are things we say out of love. So,
yeah, the whole dude. I know 5 fat dudes, and you're 4 of them.
Right.
That's one of my absolute favorites. So, the reason we're doing a show this morning. Hey, Fish and Golf. Good morning, brother. The reason we're doing a show this morning, and I think it's deeply amusing that all the comments I'm seeing so far are on YouTube, because that's exactly what we're talking about this morning. So, Cameron, have you heard the good news?
Oh, well, I mean, love your enemy.
I mean, contextually for the purposes of this conversation.
Well, Christ is always contextual. Haven't you heard the good word?
Brother, if you want to do some Jesus talk, and this is not a jab or a joke, I would absolutely love for you and Mario to do a Sunday morning frickin' service. I mean, that would be our audience. I think a lot of our audience would enjoy it too. But no, what I'm talking about in particular is Steven Crowder. Oh, no, come on. Okay. Y'all bear
You can
with
just say
me.
it. Oh, well, dear. Hi, everybody. I'm Solo. Shh, look, before he comes back, okay? Look, I'm going to blink 3 times if I'm in trouble, okay? Blink 3 times if I'm in trouble, okay?
Roger that. So, no. The reason we're doing a show this morning is to talk about this news. So Crowder cancels YouTube, and this, of course, is from louderwithcrowder.com. We have a brushfiremind.com, and I wish that one of the guys on the show, myself or either of the other two, had the time to put all the references there the way that Crowder does their show. But here's what's going on. Conservative commentator and recent Trump appointee Dan Bongino assumes his new role as deputy director. That's hard on the eyes. Let me pop that in the reader. So, as Dan Bongino leaves Rumble, Steven Crowder moves to a new time slot, announces YouTube departure. Each day we overwhelm your brains with the content you've come to love from the louderwithcrowder.com website. But Facebook is, Facebook. So, let me just summarize it for you guys. Here's what they're doing. Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, Russell Brand. There's a pretty long list, and the Quartering is doing it. Evita Duffy.
Basically, a whole bunch of people that have got 100K plus subs.
And Viva Frei is part of this too. I'm a big fan of Viva Frei and his work is great stuff.
Yeah, anyway, it was fun to watch him red pill himself.
Yeah,
he didn't even do it on purpose. He just was like, look, I'm a lawyer. I'm just trying to break this down from and I'm a Canadian lawyer. So literally this is a complete outside perspective. And you just watched him go, holy shit, the American conservatives have got some really good points. The election might have actually been stolen. Oh my God.
And you watched him go from having kind of a neat haircut to
the Jufro
back, and now he's just boom. he's gone full freedom Jufro, and packed his shit, left Canada, moved to Florida, and bought some guns, and is working on becoming an American citizen because, well, shame on Canada. But basically they're leaving YouTube. They're shutting down their YouTube channels. They're all going Rumble exclusive. I think Tim Pool said he's still going to publish clips on YouTube, but the live streaming, all their live shows are now going to be Rumble exclusive. And not just that. So Crowder went into great detail on how the process is going to work. Beginning Monday, they start the lineup, what they're calling the lineup. So now it'll work more like a traditional television network. So all these guys they'll come on. I believe Crowder's the first one. He starts at 11 o'clock. Right? They used to be at 10 o'clock. That's Eastern Standard Time. So they're going to start at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Louder with Crowder. 1 hour. And then at noon, it's Tim Pool. And then I'm not sure what order they go in after that. But it'll be one live stream where they switch from show to show to show in the same live stream. So for you guys with the Rumble app listening in your car, you can just start it when at 11 o'clock in your car. And, if you got a gig like I do or like Cameron does, where you spend a lot of time driving and you miss listening to Rush Limbaugh for 3 hours. Well, it's not Rush, but
nothing ever will be.
You can start it and just let it play. And when Crowder's show ends, Tim Pool's show starts and it'll just go. That's the lineup. So this is a big move, guys. This is a very, very big move. And I kind of hate that I'm saying this to such a small audience this morning, but this is it's Saturday morning and we don't usually do a morning show on Saturday. Usually when we do a show on Saturday, it's like the show we're doing tonight at 9 o'clock which will be a Rumble exclusive, where we go live on all platforms, go for 10 to 20 minutes, just kind of chewing the fat, shooting the shit, and then we shut it down and go Rumble exclusive. Well, this is a big deal for a lot of reasons. One, this is a shot across the bow for the Daily Wire and for YouTube. So one of the things that's about to happen is a bunch of people are going to just give up on YouTube. And I want that. Here, unless I get a phone call from Tim Pool or Steven Crowder, which is incredibly unlikely, my intent is to stay on YouTube, and we're going to ride this boat straight into the ground. My reasoning here, they've got big audiences that they can take with them. I have been actively working to convert as much of my audience as possible to Rumble and get off of YouTube. So we're basically going to stay on YouTube in the way that you stay behind enemy lines and continue grooming assets so that we can bring people out of hostile territory and back over the border into the land of liberty and freedom. Right? Rumble is digital America. So we're going to hang out and keep slinging the shovel in the salt mines and the gulags and run our little YouTube underground railroad straight out to the bright, shiny day of Rumble. But here's the other thing that I want you guys to pay attention to. I put some of this. Go ahead.
Look, before you move on to the next point, and I wanted to be a part of this, even though I have been busier than a squirrel trying to shit a pineapple. Rumble had to make this move. They had to. They've been building their platform for years now. They've had millions of dollars invested. The partnership with Steven Crowder happened a couple of years ago now. And at some point, when you play chess, you have to attack, and you have to expose yourself in order to put yourself in position to win the game. And this is probably the most dangerous period that Rumble is ever going to go through. And
the individual creators, those creators are taking huge risks leaving YouTube.
They're taking huge risks, but like, let's be honest. Like, Tim Pool could shut the Castle down right now and just, you know, live. He'd be fine. Like, he'd be, you know.
Yeah, same thing for Crowder. But they're taking huge risks with their businesses.
Yes, yes, they are.
For Crowder doesn't make money off YouTube. He's completely demonetized on YouTube, but he sells those beautiful little mugs, and if anybody knows anything about sales, it's a numbers game. If you don't ask people to buy your shit, they won't buy your shit. So YouTube is millions of people, and he asks them to buy his shit, and thousands buy it.
Yeah, right? When you have an exposure of millions, if 1% buy your product, you're going to be rich. Like, that's Walmart math. But just what I was driving at was, this is the next step. I have been wondering when Rumble is going to take it, and there are some things about Rumble that I'm critical of, not their algorithm or anything like that, but their UI is frustrating. Basically, I want, and I think most people feel this way, I want Rumble to be YouTube, just, with all the backgrounds being green instead of red, and exactly. It's not. So this is a big deal. And you mentioned Rush. I actually really like this because I'll say I'm going to assume you're included in this. I still miss Rush Limbaugh terribly. There was no one like him, and there probably never will be. If we look at the first,
to a lesser extent, Neil Bortz, right?
If we look at the first century of broadcast media, like of the way we think of it, and you had to make a list of like the top 20 figures ever, radio, television, whatever, Rush belongs on that list. And it's interesting because Rush always wanted to be a radio DJ. Like, when he was a kid, like he would play his own records and broadcast them to his parents downstairs for practice. So right. that he always wanted to do his own thing, though. He didn't want to be constrained by certain things in programming. And so when he was finally given the opportunity to say, you know what, we'll throw you on AM. AM is practically dead anyway, but you know what, you can do whatever you want. And Rush said, I'll take it. And he became the Rush Limbaugh that people know and love or hate. So, this is dangerous, not just because of the risk that Rumble is taking directly, but there's the indirect risk that YouTube could find some equivalent of Rush Limbaugh and respond. And because YouTube literally has decades of experience over Rumble on how to capture an audience, they got that Google money behind them, and that's that's a hell of a weapon. But
and and to your point, hey, YouTube, if you're listening, there is a figure. There is in fact a number. If you come to me with that check, I will compete with Crowder and all his people. I would happily be YouTube's competitor to Rumble, Steven Crowder, and the like.
Yeah,
just me.
Yeah, if like that's.
But you got to come with some zeros because Rumble's
you got to come with some commas.
Oh yeah, like 3 of them, because Rumble's paying me now. YouTube is not.
Right. So. And look, I won't belabor the point, but just purely analytical, cold logic. You take the politics out of it. You take the getting in my feels out of it, and you just look at business strategy. Rumble was going to have to make this move. They're kind of betting everything on black right now, and there's quite a few.
I don't know if you see the lineup. They seem to be betting everything on white. Which historically is a good bet.
Okay. Are we Jesus Christ, Chris. Thanks for derailing me. There we go. Anyhow,
I wish Mario had been here for that one. It would have broken him in half.
Look, you had point number 2 that you wanted to get to. I just wanted to point out that business-wise, this is the next step for Rumble, and I'm actually really fascinated to see how this plays out.
Now, here's the other thing that I want everybody to pay attention to. If you have stumbled across this video, even later, right? We're live right now on March the 15th. It's a Saturday morning. If you stumble across this video later because the description says something about growing your YouTube channel, right? It does. The description says something about growing your YouTube channel as a small creator. Okay? Stryker says, I thought I had a recurring paid sub here. Stryker, not to me. No, YouTube's not paying me anything. If you've subscribed to this channel through YouTube on a paid subscription, then they're robbing both of us. If you want to buy a subscription to the channel to help support the show, you got to click the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. That's where you subscribe for now, or go over to Rumble Premium and just get Rumble Premium. Right? You don't have to subscribe to the Brushfire Mind directly, explicitly on Rumble. If you just go in and sign up for Rumble Premium.
Oh dear,
we get a piece of
he's
that. He's
frozen. Act. It's not just me. Chat, he's frozen, isn't he?
I am.
Oh dear. Oh, he appears to be unfrozen.
Are you fucking with me?
You were frozen. Could have been me. Nope. Look, go buy me a coffee. It's fine. Or go buy Chris a coffee.
Go to the Buy Me a Coffee link. It's in the description. That'll do it. Now, back to the point. If you're somebody who ended up seeing this episode because there's a thing in the description about building your channel on YouTube, Crowder and Tim Pool and all these are the big guys, right? With the exception of basically the Daily Wire team, conservative media is quitting YouTube and going over to Rumble. Right? So that means that there is about to be a giant content vacuum. Live, little inside baseball here. Live is harder to build than pre-produced, published content. It's much easier to get published canned content to grow on YouTube than it is to get a live channel to grow. However, live viewers are more valuable. And the reason for that is with the pre-published content, you can buy bots. You can hire a bot farm in India to just watch the crap out of your show and create millions of artificial views and then use that to bump up your sales numbers and get the viewership. And because that's the truth, advertisers don't pay as much for that content. Those are considered lower value viewers, and they are lower value. A show like this, where our viewers, you guys are awesome. The majority of our regular live viewers tune in at 7:30 every morning, and y'all, I love you guys. Y'all are dedicated. Right? I see it. A lot of you guys will tune in at 7:30, 3 out of 5 shows a week or more. And we don't go to a set time. Right? I always try to go for at least a half an hour, but sometimes we'll go for 3 hours. We'll just keep going until we're tired of doing it. Or until one of us has to go to work. Right? And I've seen you guys just stick with it and watch. That has value. Advertisers pay more for that. Now, we haven't taken any sponsors on this show at this point. We haven't taken any big sponsors on this show at this point. We have done some shout outs in trade stuff before, but we don't have a 1776 coffee or a Brushfire Cast coffee or anything like that. Maybe one day. But with everybody going to Rumble, that's going to create a massive vacuum in viewership. Now, not everybody is gonna jump over to Rumble immediately. There's still going to be people who are in the habit of turning on YouTube to watch content. There's still going to be people who go to YouTube. I'm probably never going to stop using YouTube for, hey, how do I change the spark plugs in my 2021 Ford Expedition, right? How do I what parts do I need to buy before I disassemble the shower stems to make sure that I fix the leak so I don't have to go to the hardware store and leave the water off, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, I have a recent one.
Yeah.
What's the best way to file an S corporation?
Yeah. How's that working out for you?
Expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm making more money than I ever have, and I'm spending more money than I ever have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all part of the plan. At least I hope.
I like making money, but I also really like not spending money. And sometimes those two are mutually prerequisite.
I like spending money on things I want to spend money on. I don't like spending money on, well, you have to be compliant with this and you have to be compliant with that. It's like, look, I'm just trying to start a business here, guys. Like, I've been working 2 and 3 jobs for the past few years trying to save up a little nut, and that's already gone. I'm in credit card territory now. And it's like, Jesus, okay, all right, this better work. But yeah, but your point being that, like, hey, I can't figure out how to change the light bulb in my 2010 Nissan Altima. There's a YouTube video that shows you how to do it. Like,
if there's not, bust out the manual, read up on it, figure it out, and then make a YouTube video. Because if there's not a YouTube video, if you have a car that's an uncommon car, I guarantee you somebody out there wants to watch that video, right? And not only that, as soon as somebody else watches that video, it's gonna get dinged in the algorithm. And so, like, I might look up changing the spark plugs on my Expedition, and the video, because I know Cameron and the algorithm is a creepy bastard that's hiding under your cushions while you're watching TV. It knows that he and I are friends, and your friend was interested in this other automotive video, and I don't give a shit about his whatever it is he drives. I need to change the car. Yeah, but this video, he liked this video. You should watch this. Here's this video with advertisements. Okay. Right? You can be that guy. You can suddenly be that obnoxious pain in the ass that starts collecting ad revenue, because there's about to be a massive vacuum in viewership for the algorithm, and it's going to be looking for stuff to fill that with. And for guys like us, importantly, to take advantage of that, we are the kind of content algorithmically that is specifically being evacuated. And so I'm hoping that with everything we're doing right now that we're in the Rumble creator program, we've been upping our game and doing more shows, more content. The Saturday evening show is not a guarantee yet, but I think Mario and I are about to do our 3rd Saturday show in a row. That may be something that we do every Saturday or 3 Saturdays out of the month. We're still kind of working some kinks out on that. Because, I do still have a family to spend time with, but hopefully, cranking up the amount of content that we're putting out, we'll start taking advantage of some of that algorithmic vacuum. And importantly, on YouTube, my objective on YouTube is to grow the channel. I don't care if we ever make any money on YouTube. It'd be nice if YouTube suddenly had to start cutting us big checks. In fact, it would be hilarious and in a way ironic. But the mission, as far as our YouTube side is concerned, is to grow on YouTube and reach people that are not yet on Rumble and bring them to Rumble. send them to Rumble, because here's what I want to see, and this move by Crowder and them is a big deal and a great step in the right direction. Right? I want to see Americans, not conservatives, not Republicans, not patriots, Americans declare an economic, a financial, a fiscal holodomor on YouTube. Death by starvation. We will starve them out.
Okay, so I know we got to do a short one, and I have to make it short for all kind of reasons, because guess what I'm doing today?
Make it short. I just plan to.
Well, I'm doing more work. I have more compliance.
Oh,
like
it's
yeah, it just doesn't stop. But I swear the numbers are supposed to be there. I'm just trying to get from A to B. Anyhow, the question is, how effective is it going to be? You say, like, you talk to a random kid, just pick some random 8-year-old kid. They know what a YouTube video is. They know what an Instagram reel is. They know what a TikTok video is. How many of them even know what Rumble is? Like, that's
a fair question, and let me answer it like this. In 2020, Steven Crowder, the Louder with Crowder show, did the live stream all night for the election. So did we. And we started calling out shady shit happening in the election when it was obvious. Like, there was a moment in 2020 on election night where it became painfully obvious to anybody who was watching the numbers that the election was in the process of being stolen. But there was some seriously shady shit going on, right? And we started saying that, and a couple days later, that live stream was just axed. Crowder that night had the most watched live stream in history on that election coverage. So fast forward 2022, you're going into the midterms. On the approach, and apparently I think Crowder said they have recordings of discussions on that. But on the approach,
I believe Crowder has recordings of discussions. Womp womp.
Shots fired. Anyway,
I said Jeremy Boring is a hero, but I still think that was pretty fucked up. Like, that's.
Anyway, leading up to the midterms, YouTube banned Crowder, threw him off YouTube, and they had to make some shit up. And Crowder did a show yesterday where he went into detail on how all this played out. But basically, YouTube had to make some shit up so they could throw Crowder off, because they didn't want him to have the massive viewership on his live stream for the midterms in 2022. So they ended up going and doing it exclusively on Rumble, where they again had, I think this time it was the largest, the highest viewer live stream in Rumble's history, and the highest viewed election live stream in history, but it didn't beat his previous "we're the biggest thing that ever happened" record. But the numbers are very clear there. He dominated it on YouTube. And because of that, because YouTube, I'm talking to you, YouTube, Google, Alphabet, fucking China, is actively engaged in American election interference and tampering. They tried to remove his show for the week leading up to the midterms and during the night of the midterm elections, precisely because he was so effective previously. And he went to Rumble exclusive for that live stream and still blew it out of the water. So I think that most especially because Crowder is involved in this move, that they will have huge success from this. I expect that we'll start seeing numbers come out of Rumble in quick order. So the timeline is this. On Monday next week, they start the lineup deal where everybody just runs back to back to back, right? Crowder, Tim Pool, and everybody, they're all shifting their publication schedule to accommodate that change. I'm not clear because I understand that Tim Pool's regular, like it's just Tim Pool newscast show that he does every day is moving to 12 o'clock. I don't know if they're adding the Timcast IRL to the end of the lineup, but I suspect they will be because I don't think anybody else is filling that late night slot right now. And again, I'm not clear on whether or not that's the case. But so they start the lineup on Monday, this upcoming Monday, the 17th. And then the following Monday, the 24th, they go to Rumble exclusive. So they'll still be on YouTube next week. It's the 24th. It's the following Monday that they all completely abandon YouTube. And I suspect that we're going to start seeing a big spike in our numbers. Maybe not on the live morning show at first, but on our shorts and stuff like that, I think we'll start seeing a lot there. Now I've been a little lax on the shorts the last week or so because I've taken up one of my old contracts and I've been driving 300 miles a day, which is fun and it's decent money. But damn, is it 300 miles a day?
Yep. Well, unfortunately, I'm about to have to call it because I have stuff to go do. Like I'm, gotta go make the donuts.
Yeah, buddy.
And if you get if you get the reference, it's actually more like honey buns. But
well, if you get the reference when Cameron says it's time to go make the donuts, yeah, it's time to go get your prostate checked.
Yeah, and I saw Steve say hello, so please allow me to respond in kind. Hello, Steve. But that's about it for me. It's just I find this, like I said, even taking the politics out of it, I find this very interesting because this is the shot up across the bow, and this is I don't know that it will work. I want it to work, but I also know that Rumble needs to clean up their UI. Like I get it. Like you don't want to just straight copy YouTube, but like, look, you can copy the parts about YouTube that work. Like if you're going to make a chocolate cake, sticking with the basic chocolate cake recipe is how you make you can make it your own. You can add nuts. Okay. You can do that. That's fine. Okay. You could put a strawberry frosting on top of it. That's fine. But to make a chocolate cake, you need like 2 cups of flour and a half a cup of cocoa and a cup of sugar. Like you're not making chocolate cake without those ingredients. You're just not. So
you're making something else. Yeah, I made a chocolate cake. It looks a lot like an omelet.
Just added extra eggs. It's fine. It's fine.
All right, brother. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this morning. Keep an eye out for the notification. We are doing a show, Mario and I, at least, and Cameron, if he doesn't get too wore out slinging the fatty cake.
Nope. We're not. Those two areas of my life stay separate. Like you're dancing on the edge there.
Okay. But anyway, if Cameron is up for it, we'll be doing the show tonight. So keep an eye out for that notification, and we'll see you then. Love you guys. Be safe out there.
All right, brother. I'm gonna go hit the head and get out the door. because I got